The late afternoon sun slants across the ancient temple courtyard. A small group of school children, chattering, playful, but suddenly quiet, pause near a stone mandapa. One boy points to an enormous granite pillar. It hums faintly when he presses his ear close. Not a machine. Not a hidden wire. Just stone. The others lean in. A gentle sound, like a low bell. Strange. Impossible. How could a block of stone sing? Here, in this sea of stone, lies a question older than memory. How were these great mandapas built, without steel machines, without cranes, without drills? And why do they hold secrets that still whisper to us today? The children tap the pillar again. A different note this time. Wooden sticks, playful rhythms. Pillar becomes drum. Giggles echo under the mandapa's high dome. The roof catches the sound, throws it back, makes it bigger, softer. It lingers, as though the stone itself remembers. These mandapas are not only halls of prayer. They are instruments, theatres, calendars, and silent teachers. Each groove, each edge, holds a story that tools of our time cannot quite explain. One child pipes up. How do they lift this? It's bigger than a bus. Another wonders. But who carved it? Without machines? And a quieter voice asks, did they really know all this, just by looking at the stars? Lets the shadows of the temple stretch across the courtyard. Here's the strange part. These halls, some built over 1,000 years ago, still stand as if time itself walks around them, not through them. Rain falls. Earthquakes rumble. Crowds pass. Yet here they are, pillars unbroken, roofs unfallen. They were built with silence and patience, and with a kind of science that no one wrote in books, but carved into stone. The story slows. Pillars lined like soldiers, ceiling carved with blooming lotuses, steps worn smooth by centuries of bare feet. The storyteller begins to explain. Let's start with how they carved the stone itself. These giant blocks, mostly granite, were split using a rhythm of fire and water. Heat the stone until it cracks, then cool it suddenly, forcing it apart. No dynamite, no machines. Just watching the rock, listening to it breathe. The children run their tiny fingers along the pillar grooves. Smooth, cold, precise. To polish it, sand rubbed in circles. Days, weeks, months of work. Hundreds of hands. Thousands of hours. No rush, just the rhythm of chisels, the sound of stone meeting steel. No cranes existed, so how did they lift? The narrator repeats the question with gentle emphasis. By using ramps. Long earthen ramps, stretching sometimes for kilometers. Elephants pulled the stones, men guided them. Songs and drums kept the rhythm so the great blocks could climb upwards, slowly, safely. A mandapa roof gleams. But here's something even stranger. When the pillars were placed, they were aligned not just by sight, but by sound. Each pillar is tuned, some to notes of music, others to patterns of vibration. Knock on one, hear a clear tone. Knock on another, hear its partner. Brief silence. The children test the claim, hands tapping. Their laughter turns to awe. They hear it. These are not only stones. They are memories of frequency, echoes of an ancient mind that understood harmony between sound and space, between humans and earth. Behind the science hides the culture. The mandapa was never just an empty hall. Here, music was played. Chants were sung. Gatherings were held. The pillars carried sound through the crowd without microphones, their shapes designed like channels of air. And then, belief. The mandapa was not for entertainment alone. It was a bridge, a threshold between the seen and the unseen. The storyteller softens. Every lotus carved on a ceiling. Every lion frozen in stone. They were not decorations. They were lessons. Lotus taught patience, blooming even in mud. Lions taught courage. The mandapa itself taught stillness, that within silence, knowledge grows. The children sit briefly on the cool floor. Streaks of light cut through. Dust motes fall like tiny stars. Think of it. Stone was carved not only to shelter the body. It was carved to shape the mind. The group falls quiet now. The Mandapa whispers its lesson, slow, steady, unhurried. How are these built without modern tools? Hand, heart, and harmony. The ancients carried not only chisels, but vision. They worked with earth, water, sound, and space as partners. A child breaks the silence softly, so when the pillar sings, it's because they wanted us to hear? Yes, and perhaps to remind us that even stone can be alive if we learn how to listen. The Mandapa seems eternal, bathed in gold sunlight, shadows stretching like memory. As the group leaves, they glance back at the singing pillar. Just once more, tap. A low hum follows them like a farewell. In our hurried world, we forget that patience itself can build wonders. These ancients remind us that slow can be strong, and silence can be full. And perhaps, if stone can sing, then so can we, if we learn to listen deeply. Ever wondered why South Indian temples touch the skies with their massive gopurams? Those gateways weren't built only for grandeur, they shape sound, sight, and even thought. In our next journey, we'll climb those towers of stone and discover their hidden science.